everybody, my name's Helen, and today I'm going to be doing my November wrap-up and my December TBR. Now first things first, you may notice that I still look like crap, and I'm wearing the same outfit. I filmed these videos back-to-back, and I'm hoping to edit them back-to-back and upload them back-to-back. So I'm not just being lazy, I promise. I'm just double filming. So the first book that I finished this month was Along for the Ride by Sarah Dessen. Yes, I'm having trouble thinking back to the beginning of the month. First book I read this month was Along for the Ride by Sarah Dessen. This was the first Sarah Dessen book that I have ever actually read, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to read, and I actually just found it really enchanting. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. The second book that I read this month was Doctor Who: The Dark Horizons by J.T. Colgan. I was so disappointed in this book. I have read several of the Doctor Who books in the past, and I have loved them. And I was so excited for this book because it's all about, Nordic mythology and Vikings. And I was like, a time-traveling alien meets Vikings. What can possibly go wrong? How could this ever be a bad thing? It's a bad thing. There are parts in it that are really good, and there are parts of it that are just like, are you done yet? I actually had to create a new shelf on Goodreads for this book, specifically called Do Not Recommend, because I've never had a book before this that I was just like, no, don't waste your time reading this book until I read this book. I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars. Just so disappointed. The next book that I read this month is More Than This by Patrick Ness. I read this book for my book club on Goodreads, and this book is amazing. It starts off kind of slow and you're a little bit confused. You just don't understand what is happening to this poor kid at all. And it slowly unravels itself in the most beautiful way. And Patrick Ness's writing style is so beautiful, and it engages you so easily. And I can't rant and rave about this book enough. 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Go read it, please, if you have not read it. So the next book that I read this month was mentioned in my 24-hour readathon, and that was Fallen by Lauren Kate. I found this book to be pretty good. I was a little bit surprised because I've heard some pretty mixed reviews about it, and I haven't read a whole lot of books to do with angels, even though the whole angels thing doesn't kind of come in for a while. But it was a really interesting take on it, and I like how the cover was kind of brought into it later. That was actually really cool. I kind of did a double take to the front, and I was like, wait, what? So that was pretty cool. I liked the writing style. The only thing I really hated was the main character. Luce. What is it with main characters named Luce? Luce in this one, Luce in Lost Voices. I'll leave a link to that review down below, because that was interesting. She rubbed me the wrong way. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. And finally, the last book that I read this month was Insurgent by Veronica Roth. This friggin' monster that doesn't look like it's all that bad, and then it's 525 pages. This was the other book that I read in the 24-hour readathon. I don't even know what to say about this book. The first half of it I moved through so quickly. I was like, whoa, oh my god, yes, I need to know more. But then about halfway through, it just kind of slowed right down, and I was like, what happened? This was such an action-packed story, and I loved all the characters in it the first time around, except for Peter, because Peter was a dick. And this time around, Triss was bothering me, 4 was pissing me off, Caleb, I just don't even want to go there, and Tori, I loved Tori with all of my heart in Divergent, and in this book, I was mad at her. I was really mad at her. Overall, I gave this book 3.5 out of 5 stars because it's still an interesting book. It doesn't live up to the first book in my eyes. Now for my December TBR. I only have 2 exams this semester. One of them is 8 days after my last class, and then I have 6 days until my second one. So I'm gonna have a lot of freaking reading time. Now, first of all, I do have 3 book clubs that I'm technically part of. So the first book club that I am part of on Goodreads is the Sarah Dessen Book Club with Heather from over at Bookables. And this month we are going to be reading Lock and Key. I have not read this book at all, and after my good experience with Along for the Ride, I just couldn't pass up an opportunity to be part of a book club that would allow me to read every one of the books. The second book club I am part of is actually, I took part in GISHWHES this year, which, if you don't know, is the greatest international scavenger hunt the world has ever seen. And it is hosted by Misha Collins, aka Castiel from Supernatural. And basically for a week you go on this ridiculously huge scavenger hunt with a group of people who are from all over the world, and you take pictures of you getting these ridiculous items. For example, I probably have the picture still of my friend and I on surfboards in the lake talking on tin cans, like on a tin can phone, and I'm pretty sure I'm in my prom gown. But we actually became so attached to our group members that we are still in contact, and we decided that we were going to start doing our own kind of mini book club. And all of us are really, really in love with John Green books, and I own all of his books. But we decided that this month we were going to read An Abundance of Katherines. I am the only person in our group who has actually already read this book, but I'm going to reread it because I loved it. Now for my last book club, it is another Goodreads Book Club. However, the book has not been officially announced, so I don't know for sure yet what I will be reading. And then out of my books, first thing I'm going to try to do is finish Jane Eyre. I kind of put this on the back burner when I was doing the 24-hour readathon because I knew I would not be able to get through this book because it's 401 pages of itty bitty bitty font. Because that is a book that I pulled out of my TBR jar. It gets replaced with a book from my TBR jar. Oh yes! I pulled out The Catastrophic History of You and Me. Looks like one of the books I'll be reading this month is The Catastrophic History of You and Me by Jess Rothenberg. This is the story about a girl who legitimately dies of a broken heart after her boyfriend breaks up with her. Apparently it's really sad, and I love books that are sad. I don't know what it is. I really don't, but sad books that make me feel things, they're good. And also because I'm going to have so much reading time in between my exams as well as after my exams. I have like a 3-week winter vacation. I'm going to pick another book out of my TBR jar. And the book is Wheel of Ice. So it looks like one of the other books I'll be reading this month is Doctor Who, The Wheel of Ice by Stephen Baxter. This is one of the other 3 Doctor Who books that I own other than the one that I read last month. That's actually here with me. And I bought this at the same time, and I don't even know which Doctor it's supposed to be following, or if it's like a new one that the dude just made up. I have 0 ideas. Now for the books that I just want to read this month. I just want to get them out of the way. I'm tired of having them here. I want to take them home and put them on my actual bookshelf where they can look all pretty together. The first one being Allegiant. Now that I have read Divergent and Insurgent, I can finally read Allegiant, and I would like to just get this out of the way. I've heard so many mixed reviews about this book on the booktube community. I am so nervous going into it. I know that there's supposed to be a major plot twist in here that has to do with 4/Tobias, and I'm so scared. I have managed not to be spoiled yet, so please do not spoil me. I don't know how I've avoided spoilers I just have. The next book that I would like to read is also to finish off a series because I have not yet read it and I feel a little bit bad about it. And that book is Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. And the last book that I have picked for myself that I would like to read this month is the beginning of a series. And it's the whole series I've heard mixed reviews about. I'm reading a lot of mixed reviews books, apparently this month. I'm just getting them out of the way. And that is The Maze Runner by James Dashner. Okay, so that's it. That was my November wrap-up and my October TBR. I read 5 books this November, and I am planning to read 9 books for December. We will see how that goes. What did you read last month? What are you planning to read this month? Is there any book out of my TBR that you would like me to read first? Is there any books that I have mentioned in this video that you would like to see a review from? Let me know. I would love to hear from you in the comments down below, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye!